in post. I'm not gonna, but I could.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna, but I could.
We might have to talk about how I've been saving this.
What is it?
I'll save it. It's about tomorrow.
Okay. What's up, chicken fuckers?
It's the sports program on TSPN with Derek, Zach, and Sean, who's been here the whole time. Head over to timespentpoorly.com and give the show a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and help move this show into more people's suggested lists. This show is also streamed live on many platforms, including YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on an opportunity to chat in and give the guys a piece of your mind during the broadcast. Want to support the show? Great! Go to patreon.com/timespentpoorly to see how you can do that. And now it's my pleasure to bring you the hosts of the sports program on TSPN, Derek, Zach, and Sean.
That's the first step.
I was not even on the right tab. I was over on Facebook, and then I heard it went quiet. I'm like, oh, it's definitely on me. It's definitely on me.
That's fun. Derek did that last week.
That was fun.
I should have known.
I don't even remember.
I should have known. I like this. It's like,
I know I nailed it.
Show opening roulette.
Sean, I like that shirt.
This one?
No, the sweatshirt.
This one. Oh, you know what the best part is? They're both Newfound Glory.
Oh, very nice. You matching.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're all right, dude.
I teased this before. Well, by the way, I'm watching Portland and New York right now. Some nice little Saturday morning basketball going on.
I didn't know there was a game on right now.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
It's
Portland's on a nice little heater right now, considering who all they've had out.
Well, yeah, and they beat the 76ers, which was
without McCollum or Lillard.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all.
One thing I've realized this year, though, because, there's a lot more of those back-to-backs, like those double headers, right? And they're making it the same team a lot. Mm-hmm. I want to know, and I almost looked it up before the show. They're just like, we ended up completely not talking about sports per usual. But I wanted to look up and see, how many times the same team has actually won those back-to-backs. Because it seems like if one team blows out a team the first night, it's the opposite the next night every time.
Yeah. Which is weird, though, because then, once teams get in playoff situations,
you don't really see that.
They do that in the playoffs too, though, right? They do that in the playoffs too.
Yeah, I mean the Lakers,
they don't really play 2 nights in a row in the playoffs. They take the day off in between.
That's true. That's true.
But right now, a good example is I started to notice it when, obviously, because I'm a Spurs fan, when the Spurs played the Timberwolves earlier in the season, not this last week, which they won, but earlier in the season, they played a doubleheader in Minnesota. And I think we beat them by 30 the first night. And I think they beat us by, 20 or 30 the next night. And then I started noticing it with other teams. I started noticing it with Portland. LA went through that the other night. Golden State Warriors, I saw the first night of a doubleheader the other night. They won by 20, and then they got blown out the next night. So it's whoever wins the first one, I would almost say if you were a gambling person, just take the other side the very next night. Because I haven't seen a single situation yet where one team has won those both times, except for when there's a day off in between. So the Grizzlies played the Spurs twice last week, and they dominated both games, but there was a day off in between. Yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know if that's going to be a trend. The only reason I was thinking about it is because of LeBron James. You know, I shared with you guys, what's his name from the Kings, their point guard, saying how the All-Star game seems stupid. And
another from a few, though, right?
And then now, as of yesterday, LeBron came out and said it, so that adds it. That makes it more legitimate, right? Like when De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings says it, you're just like, okay, he might not even make the All-Star game. But when a bona fide like superstar who got the second most votes, like LeBron, says it, you're like, should we be having this? And he also mentioned the fact that they got 71 days off, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would just look at it just for COVID alone. Just all things considered, is this the right year to do it? Like, you're like, you've had issues during this season already. Like, you have a good thing going. It seems to be going fairly well. You have some teams that have missed opportunities. And, you know, I just feel like at this point, just don't do the All-Star game. No one's going to miss it. It's a game that doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. No one's ever cared about the All-Star game, except for maybe the dunk contest.
Yeah. And I love the three-point shootout, honestly.
Yeah, and the three-point shootout. Also, okay, dunk contest and three-point shootout. Also, I usually do like the
skills competition?
The newbies.
Oh, the first and second year, the Rising Stars.
Yeah, I do like the Rising Stars.
I like the three-point shootout. I don't give a fuck about the dunk contest.
So hear me out here. I had this idea because I was bitching about the same thing the other night. I was like, De'Aaron Fox is right. And then I got in my car after I sent you guys the De'Aaron Fox quote, and I was thinking, what if they did the dunk contest and the three-point contest from separate locations? They did it live, but they were like, you get to do it from your home gym. Like, okay, now you go. And then you do it, and then the next person goes. Or like the three-point shootout, they're all... It's like a Zoom call, right? But they're all starting at the exact same time. They all start at the exact same time in their own gyms, and they have like a 3-point.
There's ways they could do it because most of those players have their own gyms.
Well, or just do it from your team's gym, right?
Team gym or wherever. I mean,
you don't need to do that.
I think it would be fun from their like home gyms. That'd be really cool.
But then you could have like every team get a representative, and you start with like 32 and you make it a bracket, right? So like Caruso for the Lakers is in LA, and like, you know what I mean? Like each team, Trae Young is in Atlanta, and they all start on the 32, and then you weed it down to 16. Like have them all go at once, live over like a conference call. Have them all go at once, weed it down to 16, have them all go at once again until it's down to like the final 4, and winner of that takes it all. I just thought it'd be so like, it'd be so fitting. Why not use like COVID to your advantage, right? Like, why not just say, like, this is the only year we're ever going to do this. Let's do something stupid.
Yeah. Because that's all it, but that's the thing is that's all it is anyways, is stupid. So just do something stupid again.
It just, no one tries during the All-Star game until the last 2 minutes when they all of a sudden want to win and they play defense. Why waste these players' times, especially like LeBron made a good point, 71 days off between seasons because they won the championship, 71 days off, and now you're saying like we can't have a 5-day break. And they told them before the season started there would be no All-Star game, so they would get that break. That was a stipulation.
Right. Well, and then like, I don't know, man. It's just like the Pro Bowl. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
They didn't even do that this year. It was over Madden. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do an actual Pro Bowl?
No,
everyone played Madden.
They did a Madden Bowl? Fuck, I would have watched that.
Yeah.
Was it cool?
No, I know. I tuned in for like a second, and I was like, wait, I saw Snoop Dogg and Marshawn Lynch cracking up, and I was like, okay, cool, and I stopped.
Yeah, they were balling. They were enjoying it.
Because they were like coaching, weren't they?
Well, they're both gamers, I'm pretty sure. So like Snoop Dogg is a huge Madden player.
I know, but when I watched it looked like he was like coaching his team what to do. And then Marshawn Lynch was just like laughing.
That's actually kind of fun and funny. They should just do 2K, like 2K20, like NBA 2K20 or whatever.
So Dana White's Contender Series, you know, it's like a Wednesday thing on ESPN Plus where they just take like a bunch of people who haven't made the UFC yet and they fight each other, and then he like takes the ones he likes and puts them in. 2 years ago, they did like a second stream of it where if you didn't want to listen to real commentators, you could listen to Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber talk about the fights the entire time. And it was so much more entertaining because like when the fighters would win, they would do their normal like interview after the fight. And then they would do like a second interview with Snoop Dogg. And it always ended with them being like, I want to smoke weed with you, Snoop Dogg. Like it was like, you shouldn't be admitting this as a professional athlete over television, especially because they get drug tested. Like you're basically just signing yourself up to go.
They still drug test, huh?
I think 2021 is the year where most like NBA is stopping this year. I think UFC stopped last year. So, but at that time,
NFL doesn't do it in the off season, right?
Right.
Isn't that they don't drug test in the off season anymore? And I think I think there's still some. I think marijuana is still going to be. I don't think you get in very much trouble in the NFL anymore. Poor Ricky Williams.
Wrong generation, man.
Yeah, he would have been fine, right?
Well, and he still came back and did really well for the Ravens, but it's like he would have probably never taken that time off in the prime of his career. No. Which he did. He took the prime of his career off because he was like, I can't live the lifestyle that I want to live. And I think he went and like lived in like a tent in Africa for a while.
Yeah, he did CFL for a little bit too because they let him.
There's like, dude, oh yeah, they don't care. Pardon,
dude. CFL the one, by the way.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I accidentally smoked weed. Pardon.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, baby.
No offense. I hate that. No offense, but what I'm about to say is offensive. No offense, but the CFL's fucking stupid, bro. Like the worst fucking rules. It's not real football. It's fake garbage.
It's so good. I watched the Grey Cup. Obviously not because they didn't do it this last year.
Can I show you guys why I like the CFL right now? It's just a picture. It's just a fun picture I just.
You know what, dude? I guess you can show us.
That I just found right now. It's just one picture that I found.
I was actually gonna say that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
It's just one picture that I just found right now that made me like the CFL. I've never watched the game, but this is why I like the CFL because this is what they call a football star. I want you to look at this guy.
Yeah,
I like that.
Pardon,
bald dude. Mustache.
I like it, man. I like
the CFL star.
I haven't been able to watch a lot of games because they're kind of hard to find, but I watched the Grey Cup, man. I watched the Grey Cup last year. It was the.
You tell us what happened in the game today? Oh yeah, sure. I threw the ball a few times and.
So now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Steve Johnson, all 11 players on the defense named Steve Johnson had to tackle Robert Anderson. Well, Robert Anderson's family. Let me tell you about them. They're great folks.
Okay, that's not
like, what does that have to do with football? And they're like, we're just going to talk about that anyways. He had to hit him pretty rough there. Pardon.
Dude, you guys are being haters, bro.
Pardon. You guys, I had to hit you. Pardon.
On the picture of that guy with the bald guy with the mustache, I thought maybe that might be. I'm doing a little more digging on it. I thought maybe that might have been a retro picture. I clicked on it. That was from this past season.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, this is not a throwback image.
I mean, these are people that couldn't make it in the NFL.
Well, yeah,
which is why it's shitty. That's exactly why it's not good.
It's better than college.
Okay. Do you remember when we were younger and there was HBO and then there was like Cinemax and all the movies that they didn't want to put on HBO, they would put on Cinemax? Like, that's like saying,
you mean
I actually Cinemax? Like watching Cinemax outside of Skinemax because that's the real reason people had it. That's the only reason people had it.
Well, it's like HBO and Stars.
Well, yeah, you don't go. It's Friday night. I'm going to see what's on Stars. They have better programming. You don't say that. Like, I think I'm going to see what they have on Cinemax. They have some real bangers.
If you were a hipster, you would say that.
But that's what you're saying. That's why you like Canadian football.
I know. I like both. I don't think it's better than the NFL.
I like CFL in that I would have watched the XFL had it gone a full season.
Oh, dude. See, at CFL's better than the XFL.
Well, the XFL doesn't exist.
They're still there.
It can come back.
Well,
The Rock
Sean,
owns-
now you're making an argument like, Sean. Now you're making an argument like, what's better? Like, what's better, Cinemax or that like second Cinemax channel that they had?
It goes college football, the XFL,
Whoa,
CFL, NFL. Like, come on.
You have college football at the very bottom,
dude. Well, you know that I don't really care about college football that much.
Right, but you think
for my scale. Okay, so for probably most people,
so here's the thing.
For most people, it would be CFL, XFL, NFL, college.
So no, college, NFL. The NFL has more fans. See, here's the thing with college is you're watching potential stars of the future. With the CFL, you're watching people who were never stars, not even in college.
Yeah, but some of those players might be players that you liked in college, but just didn't get drafted.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought the XFL was. It was people that were college stars. That's totally what that was totally their basis for starting it. They were saying, we're going to take Cardell Jones and a bunch of people. And by the way, got like replaced by a dude who wasn't good in college, which is hilarious. But they're like, we're going to take Cardell Jones and these college stars who didn't cut it in the NFL, but you miss watching them play, and we're going to make a brand out of that. And that's what they did. Mm-hmm. The XFL or the Canadian Football League is like dudes that you might remember from college, but probably not.
Dude, no one will ever forget Johnny Manziel, bro.
I also do think that the CFL the XFL tried doing the thing though too, where they're like, "Oh, hey, we're also going to be like the G League too. Like, we'll give second chances to
yeah."
It didn't and obviously the CFL has done that too. Like, I think Doug Flutie played in the CFL, and
a few people have made it back.
Like, I think Warren
Moon, NFL rosters. Yeah.
Warren
you're talking about like people from 20 to 30 years ago at this
point.
Like,
no, because there was this season when I was watching the game and they were talking about I think it was like an O-line player or maybe the defensive line. He was like, CFL was in the CFL.
But what I'm saying is they're not turning into stars anymore. You're not seeing people that were in the Arena Football League and then bagging groceries like Kurt Warner and now coming into the NFL and winning Super Bowls and MVPs.
I'm only going to listen to you because you're wearing that Can't Swim shirt.
You bet, baby. What I was going to say about college football, though, is that I have knocked it down a peg on my list. I used to like college football probably the most. I think the pageantry is great, right? Like, there's just more behind every team and fan base and whatever. But Alabama, who just raked in another top recruiting class, by the way, I was reading yesterday. Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson have ruined college football to the point where we know Alabama is in that Final Four every year, even if they don't win the SEC. They're getting a shot. And to me, that's ruined it. I've lost most interest.
Can I also add to that we all knew going into that BCS title game that Ohio State didn't have a shot in hell to win that game, and yet we all went in knowing that, and that game still happened, and there was no shot in hell that Ohio State was going to win that game, and yet they still were in that game. Why?
Well, and so that's why it's ruined to me. It's because that's the second best team college football has to offer, right?
Yeah.
And it's that big of a discrepancy. So I don't know, like, if I can genuinely say I'm that into it. Oregon did pull in the number 4 recruiting class going into next year, which makes back-to-back like top 5 classes. So they're going to get better. But even their top 5 class compared to Alabama's number 1 class is drastically different.
Yeah, I think I like college football in that I will pay attention to the players that are looking to be drafted. I want to know who's in the draft class. Want to know who could end up on what team. But I didn't go to a college that has a football team, so it's always been harder for me anyways.
Yeah.
Right. Less interest in it.
I mean, you did. You did. You just didn't live in the same town as them.
Yeah. And then also they're not good.
They've had like Jared Allen. They've had like one, or not Jared Allen. Yeah. Jared Allen, who was the guy for the Vikings, the defensive end.
Yeah.
Allen.
Who went to Idaho State.
Allen.
Yeah.
But he says he went to the culinary arts school. Not.
Well, he always says he went to the culinary arts school. That's because he's just cooking up sack lunches every day.
Oh shit!
That's why he does that. He's just cooking up sacks.
It's not Jared Allen. No, it is Jared Allen, right?
It is. It just I got confused saying it because of the basketball player.
Because it's the Jarrett Allen.
So
exactly. One is Jared Allen, the football player with the mullet, and the other one is Jarrett Allen with the really sweet, perfect afro. That's just gorgeous.
Oh my God.
2 years before I moved to Oregon, ISU was playing really well. It was we went to a couple games. It was fun.
Well, right, playing really well for their division. Yeah.
Right before Idaho went back in the Big Sky, Zach, remember us talking about how maybe they had that really pretty decent season for the U of I before they went back in the Big Sky. We're like, man, if they carry that kind of momentum,
maybe they should stay. Yeah,
Sky, man, they'd be pretty good. And then they're just bad.
It's just so sad because there's a lot of people in the world. Why are all these teams so shitty?
It's hard because those teams still do all those blood money games. So those teams are still out there. So all those teams that Alabama beats by double, triple digits, to oh my God, you see they beat this team 40-12. It's like, well, yeah, fuck you. They played Idaho State.
They paid them to come.
Yeah, they played these blood money
to lose.
Yeah,
paid to go in and lose.
I like that. See, that's why I don't like college football.
Yeah, that's actually always been it.
The what?
But it keeps money coming in. They're not going to deny.
I don't care about your money. Your tuition. You make shit ton of money off tuition.
You're right. All these schools have plenty of money coming in already.
Yeah. Fuck you and your money.
I do think it's funny that we're doing a Super Bowl show and we've already done 21 minutes of just.
All right. Well,
I'll that real quick.
Yeah.
We could do 5 minutes of NBA real quick, man. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, we already did.
No, let's do it.
Well, all I was going to bring up is the fact the weird stuff with Kevin Durant last night.
Yeah, what was that?
How they told him they told him that he was on the COVID protocol list. Then they still let him come out, so he had to come off the bench. And then in the third quarter, they deemed him ineligible to play, even though they said he was eligible to go out there, and they pulled him. And now they're saying he can't travel with the team. So he's beyond frustrated. Harden's beyond frustrated.
He tweeted free me or something. He didn't know what was going on.
Right. He has no idea. Oh my God. We got one of those YouTube or Twitch spams.
Hangle Hill 0149.
Yeah, desperately. We should
want to
follow
become
that
famous. Buy followers, primes, and stuff.
You definitely won't get a virus by going to whatever link that is.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Whatever bot that is, guys, we already paid one of those farms in India just to sit here and watch our show. So we got that taken care of.
Yeah, we don't need you.
They got us 3 views. So thank you, bot farm. No, so
I can't afford a lot of them, man. I can afford 3 at a time.
Have you guys checked out any of the NBA standings right now, though? Honestly, the biggest one that's so surprising to me is just how well. I've been watching the Portland games since I have the NBA package. I've been watching every Portland and Brooklyn Nets game there is, which is awesome. But dude, Portland's been hanging in there, and they have a bunch of injuries. It's pretty cool.
Well, it just shows the difference in the team from last year to this year. Last year, they really tried to get by on the talent of their stars alone. And this year, it seems like every player, no matter who they are, really has their foot on the gas every game. And it's not like their coaching changed. It's still Coach Terry. That's the way he coaches. It's just, it seems like they're actually listening to him now. And what is it? Simone and a couple of other their bench players have really contributed. I'm impressed because it's a lot of the same guys, right? That's why me and you liked them going into this season is because they brought back a lot of the same guys and then added people like Derek Jones Jr., who are just athletic defensive beasts. We're not seeing a lot offensively from Derek Jones Jr., but it doesn't seem like we necessarily need it, right?
Yeah.
What is crazy is I keep trying to predict the West, right? So last year and the year before, actually every year we've done this show, and Sean, you've always been here. Every year we've done this show, we do our like top 8 who we think is going to make it from the East and West every year. And every time I look at the standings, and no, just who we think is going to make it, right? Like here's the 8 from the West we think are going to make the playoffs and who's not. This year I've looked at
teams here in the West that okay, sorry, go ahead.
So Houston's like rotating in and out of it, right? Golden State's rotating in and out of it. And every other day I look at it and I go, this is it. This is the 8 I think are going to make it. Then all of a sudden, like Memphis flip-flops with someone. Golden State makes it in. Some movement happens and I go, no, this is the 8 that are definitely going to make it. Every team is so close with no fans. Yeah. And more teams seem to be winning on the road than at home. Like the Lakers went on that massive road streak. The Spurs went on a road streak. Portland's winning on the road, which they never did last year. It's so up in the air. Teams aren't winning back-to-backs. They're only winning one of the 2.
I also have a couple of 2 big surprises that I've had so far for the season. First off, that the Mavericks aren't better.
They look bad, man.
Yeah, they're bad. Secondly, I'm finally willing to. I think Chris Paul might be one of the most underrated basketball players that's ever existed. Honestly, like he made OKC a tough contender last year, and now he's on the Suns, and they're a tough contender this year. Like, dude, it's so hard to ignore what Chris Paul is doing, like on these teams without any other big names. Like he doesn't have Westbrook, he doesn't have Harden, he doesn't have these names. It's just Chris Paul show.
And a couple of these games that they won, that was during that 4-game streak where Devin Booker didn't play, and Chris Paul carried the young guys, similar to what he did with OKC last year. Right. I think they stay in the top 8 all year. I don't think that they go on some sort of losing streak. I think teams like the Rockets, the Kings, the Pelicans, who are only 9-12, and the Mavericks will have mini runs this year where they look hot for maybe a 5 to 10 game streak, right? Because it is a shorter season by 10 games. They might all get hot for 10 games, but I don't think any of them end up making it. I think Houston's just playing really hard right now.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the talent to ultimately get it done. I guess if there was a team on the outside looking in right now, it would probably be Memphis passing San Antonio, or I don't know about the Pelicans anymore. I actually don't like their moves in the offseason. Trading Drew Holiday, getting Steven Adams. They just ultimately made themselves an older, slower team, and what they had was youth and athleticism, and they kind of traded that for
Adams, though.
I just don't think he fits that team really well.
The Pelicans,
like him
right?
and Zion. Him and Zion in there at the same time just doesn't make a lot of sense space-wise to me. They occupy a lot of the same area.
Because they're 2 huge dudes who need to stay down in the post.
Well, I think Zion's more of like an outside-in guy. Like he doesn't live down there, but he ends up down there. Where Steven Adams lives down there. Like that's where you're going to find him banging the whole time.
Dude, I love him though. I love him. I'm sad.
And then the East is like 0 surprises, right? Except for that the Heat suck. That's my big surprise of the year so far, is that the Heat are bad and they're not getting better.
Well, I think I asked this last week. How do you feel about the Jazz?
I think they're as good as their record.
So like you think they are as good as they're going to be and will be?
I think if Bogdanovich was healthy last year, I think they could have potentially won the West.
Yeah.
I think they're one step behind the Lakers and Clippers. One step, but they're built for a good regular season record. They have Coach Schneider, who, of course, Quinn Snyder's probably a serial killer. Like, he's probably the real life Dexter. But he's also Greg Popovich. He's on that Greg Popovich tree. And those guys, like Budenholzer for when he was with the Hawks and now with the Bucks, they just win regular season games, right? Like the Popovich tree, you might not win a championship ever, but his like former staff just dominates the regular season. So I still think the Clippers and Lakers are much better, or one step better, or whatever we want to say. Like they're the next tier up.
Yeah.
I do think the Clippers are better though. So I think that's where the threat's really coming from in the West. Like I think that's where your boys got to be careful. because Paul George looks better, man. He might just shit a brick in the playoffs again,
honestly,
he looks good.
If the Lakers lose, I hope it's to the Clippers, and I hope it's because Paul George finally proves that he's not a piece of shit.
Yeah. And then I'm not really too concerned with records right now. I think because of COVID and the lack of fans, I don't think they mean much. Like, for example, Brooklyn's 14-10. But if you tell me Brooklyn's not the best team in the East, I think you're crazy.
Yeah.
We had just gotten over the big three era, right? We're like, big threes are done.
Right.
And then the Nets are like, just fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Remember how we have a big three? Oh, also, a team that's surprised me from the East, though, this season. I mean, not like surprise, but like, man, I like what Cleveland's doing. I think it's cool. I like they're playing hungry, playing tough. They got Jared Allen, who I was very sad to see leave Brooklyn. I was just starting to fall in love.
Well, and I was flipping them shit for having too many big men when they made that trade. I was like, wow, this doesn't make sense to have 4 big guys in a league that doesn't play big anymore. But now Larry Nance is moving down to a smaller spot and making it work. Jared Allen's contributing. I would say Colin Sexton is going to be right up there for most improved player of the year. I think a lot of people have Jeremy Grant or a few other people in there. I think it's Colin Sexton because they're actually winning where the Pistons are probably the worst team in the league.
Remember correctly, you and I were actually both. So they got Sexton when they still had LeBron, remember? And we were like, hey, that might be enough to keep him in. We actually thought he would be a nice little piece for LeBron, right, in Cleveland. Yeah,
that was the final draft class before LeBron made his decision. I think he was scared that Colin Sexton didn't have an outside shot, right? Like, he's just an athletic point guard who tries to get to the basket a lot. And he doesn't pass enough. Like, we're still seeing that. He's a point guard, but I think the guy only averages like 4 assists a game. So I think but LeBron would have been your primary ball handler, and Colin Sexton would have eaten off of that, right? Yeah. I think it would have totally made sense. I think if he would have stayed, like especially last year with COVID, I think Cleveland would have won the East again. And LA is not LA, right? Without LeBron there, they probably would have won a championship last year.
Yeah.
So LeBron would have won that championship either way.
Yeah,
but I'm sure like, if you're Sean.
Okay, so on Earth 2.
I mean, I like the way it turned out. So
yeah, if you're Sean, you like the way it turned out.
Well, because on Earth 2, he stays in Cleveland.
I love how you're referring to it as if you're not a comic book person, you don't know.
Yeah, that sucks for you. On Earth 2, he stays in Cleveland. I assume everything else stays the same. So all injuries. So Golden State's not the team in the West. Who becomes the team in the West?
I mean, it would have been the Clippers, probably.
No, Golden State might not have had the same injuries because Toronto would have never went to the playoffs. The whole Toronto experiment wouldn't have worked because he would have. Yeah, so I don't know. It probably still would be Golden State.
Well, I mean, no. If Golden State would have still had the injuries. Or did they lose a couple players to a trade? I don't know.
Well, remember in the playoffs they all left. Or after the playoffs they all left basically. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's a nerdy conversation.
I don't really like to look at it as Earth 1 and Earth 2. I like to believe that we're in like Earth 616.
Oh.
And that maybe this other universe that you're talking about is maybe like the ultimate universe. So we're talking like 1610.
Okay.
What's the other popular one?
Marvel guy.
What's the other one? I'm more of a Marvel bitch. What can I say? And then what's the other really popular one? 1410? Probably. Yeah. Or 1480?
Let's be honest. Any DC reference is pretty much trash.
That's hurtful.
No, it's not. It's true.
I appreciate either from you guys, you big old studs. So I just can throw that one.
I'm sorry, dude. DC is garbage.
No, not garbage.
Yeah,
guys, let's not. We already know this is going to get the followers heated.
We haven't ever really clashed too much on this show.
We don't have to break up like this.
I think like the biggest thing was the Steelers Browns thing a couple weeks ago was the biggest like heated thing we've had.
Yeah, but this would draw a way bigger line.
Yeah.
I'll go to bat to DC more than I'll go for the Steelers.
See, and that's weird to me because anyway,
you don't want to see DC Derek, Sean. You don't want to see DC Derek, Sean.
I don't understand it.
I do because I love a passionate man.
Well, you like DC because you're a hipster.
How is that even possible?
Because DC
has Superman, which is like the most hated character ever. It's not a hipster.
Yeah. Hipsters like things that are hated.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that like DC.
You're the one who put the XFL and Canadian Football League over college football. I don't think any of us are more hipster than you.
I hate college football. I hate college football for exactly what you said. Alabama is going to be the team every year. I don't like that's just what's fun about that. What's fun about watching your team just play some football and not really.
I don't think a lot of hipsters even really like anything comic book related. So,
well, I think we think
hipsters. A hipster wouldn't like DC or Marvel at all. They would like some unheard of comic.
Yeah, they like
that. They like
Dynamite. They just like Preacher.
They they fucking love Preacher. Actually, I do know that as a fact because I used to have.
They like Preacher and Watchmen, and that's it.
I also loved, by the way, the New 52 and RIP to the New 52 because I loved it.
RIP,
okay,
dude.
I think it's time for some Super Bowl.
So sick, dude.
We can't avoid it any longer. The Super Bowl is tomorrow. We should talk about it.
I'm getting my fantasy picks up right now.
I just did all of mine. So
I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna do them without any thinking at all going in. I've always done these ahead of time, and I'm deciding to go in blind.
Okay, so can I tell you guys what I wanted to say?
Yeah.
I don't give a crap about this game. I'm excited. I'm honestly more excited to see. I can't believe I've never said this, by the way. This one part of the sentence. I've never, ever said this. I am genuinely more looking forward to the halftime show than I am for the actual. I like the weekend, and I think he'll be awesome. I don't give a fuck about this game. I don't care about either of these teams. For this year, I'm tired of just rooting against Tom Brady. I wish he would have retired. I'm so sick of rooting against Tom Brady. It's toxic. I feel toxic. I'm tired of it.
Did you see one of the picks in the pick'em was what song will the weekend play first? You could tell they just didn't know what to do for to get enough picks in or enough questions.
So I think
we'll
get care about this game.
So hold on. I want to put my 2 cents in on that too.
Put it in.
Actually, Derek.
Yes.
I mean, I asked you a bunch of questions last week pertaining to this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay loses. Does the team fall apart? Tampa Bay wins. Stay together for another year.
No, they're going to keep that team together as long as possible. Win or lose, they just made it to a Super Bowl, man.
Okay, so
win or lose, they just made it to a. They made the Super Bowl the first year put together, and honestly, I didn't think they could do that.
Well,
I thought this is the NFL, and NFL you can't just put together super teams and they win. It doesn't exist.
The super team was already there. They changed one person anyway.
They had an excellent Colin Cowherd.
They changed 2 people: the coach and the quarterback.
Bless Colin.
The coach was already there.
Heart.
Arian Foster wasn't there yet, was he?
Arians has been there for 5 years.
Has
3
he?
years.
No way.
Yeah.
Bruce was there the last 2 years of Winston.
Okay, so not 5 years though.
3 for sure, minimum.
Bruce Willis,
and they've had Todd Bowles for a couple of years now too.
So hang tight. Hold on. I was going to say...
How long was he retired? For 1 year?
He took a year off, man.
Okay, so yeah, you're right.
Him and Leftwich went there right off the jump.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2019-2020 season. So 2 years. The year before and this year.
Okay.
2 years. So yeah, he had Winston for a year. They changed one player. And made the Super Bowl because they were already a really good fucking team. Winston needed eye surgery, and that's it. I bet if they would have kept Winston after his eye surgery, they still would have made the playoffs.
I think they could have made the playoffs, but they weren't making the Super Bowl.
They might have.
I don't think so.
They might have. Winston had eye surgery. Winston had eye surgery. Sorry, I just think it's super funny that he played how many seasons before he had an eye surgery that was his issue. Like, why is that? Is that not funny? Is that funny just to me?
Well, so I can contribute to that a little bit. Sometimes you don't know how shitty your life is until you go.
Oh wait, yeah, you've told this story actually.
Because I didn't wear glasses for a long time, and then I was like, man, I get headaches all the time. And then I went to the doctor for that, and he's like, hey, have you ever got your eyes checked? And I'm like, it's not since I was a kid. And then I got my eyes checked, and he's like, yeah, you need glasses, dude. That's why you get migraines. I'm like, oh. And then when you start wearing glasses, you're like, oh, my life was really shitty before.
You're right. I know that story.
That's just probably what he did. That's why he just was like, he didn't know better.
The season before, Winston was, I've been saying this, what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did was exactly what they should have done. It's not impressive. It's what they should have done. No, I see. What I was going to say is Colin Cowherd had a pretty good take on this. What did he say?
I hate him, by the way, but they are ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule.
They'll be even better next year. They are ahead of schedule.
They had the little hiccups throughout the season, which wasn't like many. And then like Tom Brady went to like one of the biggest like Chris Evans. Like if anything, the biggest thing they lack is their like running backs. And even then, like, what do you say to that? Because like Leonard Fournette stayed healthy the whole season, which is a miracle. And then Jones,
they only had to start him a few games.
Well, yeah, but then like Jones had a great season too. Like,
yeah, they have two really solid running backs, I would say.
Mm-hmm. But when I say like their combo isn't Chubb and Hunt, you know what I mean? It's not.
Well, they also don't have the run blocking like linemen that Cleveland has in general. Bruce Arians, I don't think Bruce Arians, that's what he's going for schematically to like set up a running back for success.
Yeah. Well, my point of this is like, I brought this up to somebody the other day and he's like, their running backs are garbage, but they're not garbage. They're just, they had a pretty good season considering. And then you put Tom Brady with Mike Evans, Godwin, the O-line that the year before let a shitty quarterback throw for 5,000 yards. What do you think Tom Brady's going to do when he comes in to a team that let a quarterback throw 5,000 yards? Going to go to a Super Bowl. It's not a...
Yeah, but he had a great season, though. Tom Brady had such a great season.
He had a season that he should have had.
I don't know.
He's a 10 times better quarterback than Jameis Winston, and he came into a team that let that shitty quarterback throw for 5,000 yards. Tom Brady wasn't going to make the mistakes that Jameis makes. It's not my point is it's cool that it happened. It's not impressive. Tom Brady did exactly what he should have done.
He's also 43, though.
I don't care. If you take good care of your body, and when's the last time he was injured?
I mean, he got banged up last season, didn't he?
He wasn't out a game. He was not out. He was out at 0 games. I mean, he took some sacks, but
that's one of the reasons he's great, though, because he takes good care of himself.
I'm not saying that that's not cool, but what I'm saying is it's not impressive that he did exactly what he should have done with this team.
I'm just going to say I'm impressed by it. That's all I'm going to say.
Why is everybody impressed? He did exactly what he should have done. It's not impressive.
Well,
I'm the only person in the world that thinks this. I've talked to so many people. I've been texting. I've been messaging. I've been talking. No one agrees with me. And I like Tom Brady. And I like Tom Brady.
Yes. I don't care about this game, but I'm willing to talk about it.
I think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
I mean, it'll be fine.
If it's a
It'll be better than the Rams and the Patriots was.
That was the worst Super Bowl of all time.
It was boring. I know there were so many people that were like trying to defend it because they're like, oh, because you don't like, you just want like a blowout. You want teams with really bad defenses blowout. Yeah. So?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to feel bad about that?
Yeah, like if your team is there, you want them to just blow out the other team.
Am I supposed to feel bad that I wanted a more exciting game than that? I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to apologize for that.
Like the Eagles-Patriots game was so
that was exciting. That was an exciting game.
The Eagles-Falcons game. The Patriots-Falcons game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because
last year.
I think every year but one. I think this is going to live up to all the other Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even, some people are trying to paint narratives this week to make it seem like they want to give Tampa a chance. So they're like, well, basically every offensive lineman for the Chiefs is out. Yada, yada. Like
I've seen other stuff. I've seen stuff that the Chiefs were the underdogs. I'm like, no.
Well, they're trying to create this narrative that Tampa's, because no one wants to make Tom the underdog, because I think we're all sick of that happening. Anytime that happens and they make Tom the underdog, he wins, and then he looks even better. Right?
I am so sick of teams. I have always hated that narrative, he's the underdog.
I don't think Tom is the underdog in this situation. Both these teams are very, very good.
In his first maybe 2 Super Bowls, maybe he was the underdog. He has not been the underdog since he was a child playing this game.
So yeah, how
if Tom Brady's in the game, he is the favorite, in my opinion.
How would he be the underdog in this game?
Because they're just trying to paint that narrative.
But that's not what it is. They're both very good teams, but they have. If anything, I think Tampa Bay has 2 wide receivers that are. I mean, you have Tyreek Hill, and then who's next? I mean,
Hardman.
Hardman's fast.
Watkins is going to probably play.
Sammy Watkins.
Kelsey's going to get the most reception.
Yeah, so and then that's on the tight end situation. But are you not going to?
But I mean, Tampa Bay has Brait and Gronk.
Brait's going to be out.
He's out.
OJ
Howard and Brait are out.
I thought
Howard and Brait are out.
I thought I read Brait's out, but it might change. I thought I read it.
I think it's just I don't know. You can paint either team as the underdog. You can paint either team as the favorite. That's why it's the Super Bowl. And lately, we haven't had Super Bowls where you say this team X is way better than team Y. Like last year, the Niners looked like they were going to win it for 3 quarters, plus 3.5 quarters. The Eagles Patriots game, back and forth. The Falcons Patriots game, one-sided first half, other-sided second half. You just don't know. Like it's usually 2 1 seeds, and this season it's not, surprisingly. Like we actually have a wild card team in it, but it's still a wild card team that went 12-4. There's no favorite, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to give the slight edge to the Chiefs because, spoiler alert, that's my first pick in this pick'em thing.
Yeah.
But let's get into that, boys. Who do you guys actually have for the game?
I picked the Chiefs.
I'm picking the Buccaneers.
Okay.
The Steelers went 11-0. The Steelers went 11-0 and then lost out in one of the worst, embarrassing things I've ever seen. There's just no way that God is going to allow me to see a Tom Brady loss. I just know that I deserve this. I did this. I'm sorry to everybody. But
okay,
Tom's going to get a Super Bowl, and it's completely my fault. And I shouldn't have made those videos and joked around with my students so much about the Steelers, and this is my fault. And I'm sorry, everybody.
Do you think the Steelers would have been here if you didn't make those videos?
No, I don't think it matters either way. But I do think that Tom Brady's going to win the game because I'm just not going to go against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and I want to win the pick'em.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to go against them. I hope they lose. But
who's going to win, or will the opening kickoff be a touchback? What a boring question.
No.
But I guess it's a way to get points. You think
No.
someone's going to try to return the opening kickoff?
I said yes.
I think yes. I think the odds are definitely in that favor. If if the Chiefs are kicking off to start, what is it, Butker?
Yeah.
The dude's going to boot it out. Without a doubt.
Yeah, fuck.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, fuck off.
And then I just don't see Tampa returning a lot of kicks. So I don't know. Boring question, but
dumb.
Fun to ask. Who will score the first touchdown of the game? I'm curious about you guys here.
I picked any other player.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you have two Chiefs on there. If it is the Bucks who have the ball first, I don't think it's going to be Mike Evans getting the first touchdown.
See, I went the other way with it. I think if the Chiefs are winning this Super Bowl, they're going to have to win it in a comeback. And I put Mike Evans scoring the first touchdown to put the Buccaneers up ahead.
I like that. What'd you do?
If the Chiefs win, they're going to have to do a comeback. I just think that's just what they do.
I have Mike Evans. I had Mike Evans last week. I think it's Mike Evans 2 weeks ago. I think it's Mike Evans again. I think the Patriots get the ball first again. And I think Mike Evans scores another 30-yard touchdown.
Did you say the Patriots?
Not dang. Bucks. Whatever. It feels like a Patriots Super Bowl. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like a Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's just the Tampa Bay Patriots, bruh.
Yeah.
It only took two people to make it that way.
I have a friend who's a diehard Patriots fan, and he's like, all Bucks, baby. I was like, Tom Brady betrayed you. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. I agree.
So yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see who wins that one.
I'm not going against my own. That's the. I know of a lot of people who are going for touchdown Tim Brady.
Tim Brady.
Who's going to record the longest completion of the first half? This one seems a little biased because one guy throws a lot more deep balls, but the other guy has a lot more deep options, right?
Yeah. If you don't pick Patrick Mahomes, you're wild.
You don't think that but Tom Brady does have more deep options. For sure.
I mean, but I don't.
Godwin can go deep. Antonio Brown can catch a ball short and take it deep. Mike Evans can go deep. What's little Scotty Miller goes deep.
Yeah.
I got Pat Mahomes. Because none of those guys are Tyreek Hill. And I'm going to take that dude going deepest. So.
I took Patrick Mahomes on it. Well, no, I had Tom Brady selected because of the first half. I don't like it that it's in the first half.
Oh, so you want someone on the other team to do that?
Yeah, because I think they're going to lay – I think if they win, it's going to be in a comeback. I don't think he's going to have any deep balls in the first half. It'll be the big second. If it was a second half question, I would take it.
But even if it's a comeback, say they only score 1 or 2 touchdowns in the first half, you don't think either of them is going to be a deep ball? That's all I'm saying.
I'm going for Mahomes because he is Tyreek Hill.
I mean, I know you're all in on the Bucks, but I think that they're still going to have some plays, man. I mean, Tyreek Hill lit them up the first time.
Yes, I'm only going all in on the Bucks because this is my fault.
You're right. And I know you're going to be tweeting the whole game, even if the Chiefs are up, about how the Bucks are coming back because this is all your fault.
It's all my fault.
Will either team score in the final 2? Huh?
Is that going to bring flashbacks for you if he does do that?
Haunting.
Oh yeah, I'll be in the corner.
That's
really sad.
In the corner.
Scared.
Yeah.
Will either team score in the final 2 minutes of the first half? I said yes, because no matter which of these quarterbacks has the ball, they're going to score in the final 2 minutes. They just both seem like that dude.
Yeah, I said yes.
I did too. I did too because I just felt like going into a break. Okay, here's how I'm predicting it. I think going into the break, the Chiefs will score.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong.
That's how they win.
And then I think if Tom has it, it's the same way. I just think whoever has it,
yeah,
figures it out.
Yep.
Let's see. It's the weekend. What song do you think that he performs? Which song will be first performed? Yeah, which will be the first song performed? So it will be "Blinding Lights," which of course is his most played song ever. "Starboy," "Pray for Me," or any other song.
Which one's on the preview? The commercial they literally keep showing all the time.
I think it's "Blinding Lights."
That's what I chose.
That's why everyone thinks
it's on the commercial. They're gonna play that.
Well, yeah, but I think they're gonna play it last. So I went with "Other" because I think they start with "The Hills," which is
Ooh, you think it goes with a slow start and then amps up to about the highest level his music does.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that he put $7 million of his own money into this halftime show?
I was surprised that musicians can still make that in 2021 without selling records.
I didn't know that musicians made money at all. I thought they all did it for free now.
Just for the love of the game.
Well, because I didn't think musicians made money from Spotify or anything, do they?
Yeah, they do. You get paid per play, man. That's how the internet works.
Oh, dude, I've given Blink-182 so much money.
Yeah, they still make money off of that. Not only that, but record contracts now, just by signing with a label, they're going to give you $15 million.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
I don't feel so bad for them.
Yeah, I think they do much better than just what we realized. So whatever. I went with any other song.
Yeah, who cares? It's a dumb question.
Here's another one. Will there be a made field goal in the third quarter? Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. By one of those two teams.
Yeah.
Unless you assume it's going to be one of the other options. A defensive game, probably not. Or it's going to be such an offensive game that no team is kicking field goals. They're just opting to go for touchdowns every time.
Or just how about, nah.
No, but it's the Super Bowl. Teams are at certain points are going to play it safe and kick a field goal or two.
Yeah.
I picked any other.
I picked any other, but did you say yes or no on a field goal in the third quarter?
I mean, yes. What? I think that's a silly thing.
It's 84% for a reason. Yeah, this is bizarre. Who will record more passing yards?
I put Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes or Tom Brady?
Hey, are you fucking kidding me? Mahomes is gonna have 300 yards easily.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the main difference between these two teams, I believe, is that where those backup linemen will come into play is that the Chiefs are going to run the ball even less than they already do.
Yeah.
Remember, I think they're only going to pass.
In my narrative, if they do a comeback win, some of those are going to be garbage time stats, bruh. They're just going to be throwing the fucking ball all day long.
I can't believe it's crazy to me that this many people.
Well, yeah, exactly. And also, yeah, that's exactly right. If you think that Tampa Bay is going to win because of your life, then there's going to be some garbage time Mahomes yards. I think there's going to be some just domination Mahomes yards. But.
Or if Mahomes is making a comeback and wins, there's still going to be some garbage time stats in there. There's
either way
time in a comeback, right?
I don't know if you call it garbage time. That's like scrapping to get back in the game time. That's the scraps.
Okay.
Scraps and garbage are different.
I'll take it.
I don't know how, but they're different. Shawnee boy.
What's up?
Who's going to get more passing yards?
I picked Mahomes.
Okay. Just for obvious reasons.
I mean, yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? More receiving yards, Tyreek Hill or Mike Evans?
I put Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
The problem the thing that scares me about taking Tyreek Hill is how often does a team like let the same guy dominate them twice from a skill position level. Like Tyreek Hill already torched him earlier in the season. How often does that happen twice to the same team? Just doesn't seem like it happens very often. I think what's going to happen is they're going to game plan for him, and then they're going to get beat by everyone else. But I also don't think Mike Evans is a yards guy. I think he's a touchdown guy, right? Like,
yeah, that's exactly what
if you would have put a different Tampa Bay Buccaneer against Tyreek, I might have been tempted to take him, but because it's Mike Evans, I'll take Tyreek Hill. Is my logic there. More receptions, Godwin or Kelsey. I've stuck with Kelsey all the way through, so I'm sticking with him now. Like he's taken care of me.
I put Kelsey as well.
I think even if they lose, he's going to get his catches.
Yeah. I also think that as well, too.
Shawnee boy?
I picked Tyreek Hill, baby. Evans is a touchdown.
No, we're talking about the next one. Travis Kelsey versus Godwin. Most catches.
I picked Travis.
Nice.
I don't think I didn't answer the Tyreek or Mike Evans question either, though.
Oh, I thought you went first.
No, I said Mahomes, and then you guys talked. And so, yeah, I picked Tyreek, and then, yeah, Travis Kelsey, I think gets more receptions.
These prop bets are tougher for podcasts, that's for sure.
I don't know, because Chris Godwin's the guy, though. I don't know.
I'm going to you first on this next one, though. Leonard Fournette or Clyde Edwards-Helaire? That's you, Shawnee.
I think the odds are against me, but I'm going with Clyde.
Oh, dude, I was so tempted also. Like, I was like, I kind of want to – this is kind of the one I wanted to take a risk on.
I just don't see why they think Leonard Fournette's going to get more yards. And Ronald Jones not healthy, or are they riding out Leonard Fournette?
That's the kicker, is that the Bucs could play Rojo, and the Chiefs could have a balanced attack right between all of their running backs. Like, there's no guarantee that either of these guys are even getting a lot of touches. There's no guarantee, so this is a shot in the dark. Derek, what do you think?
I went with Fournette.
I wanted to go with Helaire, but I said that thing earlier about the Chiefs linemen probably even less rushing than before. Although that would be a nice little wrinkle, right? Like, that'd be such an Andy Reid thing to do, is to.
Oh, dude! What if they just what if just everything is different and they just ran the ball down their throat all day long? That's what they do. It's just totally different.
Right? They just come out. They come out not even in like a spread formation and just run the ball up the middle. They look like they do formations like 1990s Dallas Cowboys, like Emmitt Smith, and they just ground and pound all day long. That's all they do. How fucking would that be? Will Devin White record 10+ tackles? That just seemed like a lot, so I said no.
I said no. I thought 10 seems a little excessive.
It could be, but like I think it's going to be a passing game, which means probably no one's going to get over 10 tackles. Super Bowl MVP, boys. I want to know, Sean, you first.
Patrick Mahomes.
Because the Chiefs win. So, Derek, does that mean you got Brady because the Bucs win?
Yeah.
Do either of you think a skill position player could just shine so hard that they deserve it?
I don't. I think even if it did shine and they did deserve it, that they still won't do it.
If anybody, who do you think it would be?
So here's what, if you said any other, here's what I think. I don't think it's an offensive player. We've seen corners win it in the past, or safeties win it in the past, especially if you go back to the last time the Bucs were in a Super Bowl. If you're a safety and you pick off Tom Brady 3 times, or cause a fumble and then get a pick and get a touchdown out of it. Like if you're a Tyrann Matthews, right? If you're a Honey Badger and you cause Tom Brady in his maybe last Super Bowl ever to turn the ball over enough that the Chiefs win. That's how you win an MVP as a defensive player.
Okay.
Like say Mahomes just had a regular Mahomes game, right? Nothing wild, just a regular Mahomes game. Run in the middle 300 yards, two or three touchdowns, but then one of the defensive guys makes Tom Brady look like a bitch. Then I think a defensive guy wins it. I don't think any other offensive player besides for Mahomes or Brady wins it. Because if Kelsey has a good game, Mahomes wins it. If
When
Godwin has a good game, Brady wins it.
When's the last time a non-quarterback won it? Just for instance.
Let's find out. I don't know I do know Julian Edelman for the Patriots. Was the last time a non-quarterback won it.
What year was that?
When they beat the Rams, so 2 years ago.
Oh, God.
So just 2 years ago, 10 catches, 141 yards. Von Miller won it for the Broncos against the Panthers, so a defensive player.
Well,
Malcolm Smith for Seattle won one.
Okay.
And then before that, Santonio Holmes. So it had been a while.
It's either more time than what you think.
It's either a receiver. This is what I'm saying. It's either a receiver, a linebacker, or a quarterback almost every time. So Ray Lewis, another linebacker. The last time a running back won it was Terrell Davis.
Holy shit.
That's how long it's been since a running back won it. Last time a corner won it was Dexter Jackson for Tampa Bay. Like I said, he had 2 first-half interceptions against the Raiders, completely changed the game. If something like that happens against Tom Brady, then that's how it goes.
I think in the Steelers-Cowboys Super Bowl in 1995, I think a corner or a safety won it because he picked off Neil O'Donnell twice. So
that's how you do it.
Watched the Steelers and they lost.
Yeah, I think if someone picks off Tom Brady or sacks Tom Brady a lot, then that's how you do it. But
sure,
I think it's a corner or safety.
I think the game is so rigged that it'll be one of those quarterbacks.
I picked Pat Mahomes. I didn't say any other. I'm just saying if any other won it, it would be Tyrann Mathieu.
That'd be cool.
How many points will be scored, boys?
Oh, points. I put.
This was hard.
I put the 46 to 55 range.
Me too. I think it'll be offensive, but not overly offensive.
I went higher because I really fucked up last time we did this. So I just went the 56-65.
I mean, it'll be offensive for sure.
I'm going to be offended.
66 or more seems crazy though, right?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it does. It does.
Well, like in the end, I want it to be that though.
Dude,
I want mayhem.
The funnest one
is.
I'm
gonna do it. I'm gonna switch to it.
What do you switch it
to? 66 or more.
Oh my god, I would love that. Could you?
I'm gonna will it into existence.
I think that's a Super Bowl would that be?
I think that's the only thing that could bring America back together, personally.
Yeah.
Dude, if they just blew out a game, like just blew the doors out the stadium and just 66 points, just fucking running and gunning, touchdown after touchdown, I would love a Super Bowl.
I think that's what it's.
That would rejuvenate my love for the game.
I think that's what it has to be. It has to be.
That'd be great. I'd love it.
I would love that.
And you know what else? I love you guys.
I love you guys. Also, that would be the opposite of that Rams and Patriots Super Bowl.
Oh, that's. I think that's the beginning of the downfall of our country. Yeah, for sure. That's where things really.
Seeing Jared Goff in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, nothing else. Yeah.
Jared Goff did it in, man.
I've blamed him for a lot of things in my life. That's for sure. It's almost to the point where it's kind of annoying. People are like, dude, you got to stop blaming Jared Goff. You don't know him. You watch like one of his games a year. He doesn't hurt you.
I didn't know who he was before that game, and I don't know who he is now, but I fucking hate him.
And I don't want to know him.
Seems like a reasonably nice guy. And now
he actually seems like one of the nicer dudes. Yeah.
He's going to the CFL of the NFL right now.
Yep. He's going where dreams go to die.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad, though.
You're still playing the game you love. How is that going to die?
What's a bigger guys, boys, what's a bigger death sentence? Okay? Bear with me. The Lions, the Jets, the CFL.
Oh, wait, hold on. We didn't get to ask Mr. Zach Resson about how he feels about the trade, the big trade, the big first trade of the year.
Yeah, hey.
Which big first trade?
What
Let's
do you
go.
mean, big first trade?
Goff and Stanford. Let's finish the Super Bowl first.
Goff and Stafford. What are you talking about? The big first trade?
Didn't seem very big to me. Seemed like a lateral move.
Oh, that's what
Lateral?
That's what
Because of all the pieces?
Okay.
Because of all the pieces? Not talent-wise. Like, if you're going quarterback for quarterback, Stafford's
Yeah.
clearly
He's slightly better. He's fine.
Slightly.
He puts up way better numbers than if you gotta imagine if Stafford had a supporting cast.
In Detroit, and by the way, he had Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr. the last 3 years. He had Hawkinson. They draft every running back that exists for him. He's getting yards in garbage time. Jared Goff is playing meaningful games, which means his yards and points matter.
I see. These are the things. This is why we needed you last week.
You're just going back on your word. You know you love Matthew Stafford as much as I do, and you're being a goddamn naysayer. You're just going back on your own words. I don't fall for these little Zach Swan tricks. I don't do it because I know you love him.
Listen, our three supporters like diversity.
He can shut a fucking beer.
Our supporters like, a little back and forth. They don't want us to all be up here agreeing with each other.
I know how you feel about it because we've talked about Stafford. I know you love him. I also know there's a little bit of sadness behind this because you would have loved him in Atlanta. I would have loved him in Pittsburgh. He's going to the goddamn Rams.
If you want to know how I really feel about it, you're going to have to read my diary. And guess what? Neither of you have the lock.
Do you know where I thought he was going to go, though? I thought with almost all of my heart and soul that Matthew Stafford was going to end up in Indianapolis. That's where I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to be a Colt. They want a veteran. He's a veteran enough.
Yeah. I think he was the guy. He was the right fit.
Yeah, he seems like he's also he's got that Colt, face and personality. He's very Peyton Manning, Uncle Phil, kind of just, I'm a quarterback, I don't know. It felt right. I don't know. I thought for sure Indy.
Okay, boys. I gotta wrap up.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Wrapping
up can mean multiple things.
I gotta be done.
Let's finish the Super Bowl.
What do we got? Overall yards. I said 700. I just went. Both teams are going to pass for around 300. Put their two rushing attacks together for 50 apiece.
I had 600, but now I'm going to go 701.
Rushing yards?
Go 7.5, Sean.
Is it rushing or
total?
Now my app won't load. Avi.
I went with I had 600, but I didn't think so. I went okay. So I tried to channel my inner Zach. I also went 300 yards apiece. Didn't account for rushing at all. Now I'm going 701.
702.
3. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's 701 exactly.
Yeah, we just basically sandwiched Derek, so he needs an exact number now.
Damn it.
I love that so much. I hope no one changes anything. If Derek was smart, he would wait until the second before the game starts and change it to 7:05. That's so good.
I'm not even gonna look at it, but so who's winning? Not
me.
I think you are winning
by like a point or two. It's dead even, dude. It's all gonna come down to the final week.
No, I'm fucked. I made
You're like 2 points back.
3 points back from you.
We only had 4 people.
You're fine.
I made a lot of. I was rooting on too many. I was rooting for too many stupid.
Damn, I could win. I could still win this.
This is all up to this final thing. So whoever sneaks in last second and either low balls this or high balls this by a point is going to win it for sure. Okay. Anyways,
thanks for everybody watching the show. We love you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Go Warriors.
Go Warriors. Be a warrior.